Because if you look at what they do in most other states, the securities is separate from banking. They're really two different industries. Yes, they're both financial, but one is really related to banking, and this one is actually related to securities, financial securities. And it's always been here for a lot of times, since the beginning of time. And so I think this is where it belongs, and there's no reason to move it. I do know that we right now are investigating a $150 million Ponzi scheme that is probably stepping on a lot of toes, because what happened is this an organization that really was in the political circles, Republican, conservative political circles. But at the end of the day, our job is to do our job and protect everyone. And we want to make sure, definitely, we protect our seniors.
So you were talking about First Liberty Banking and Loan in Noonan. Tell us what the investigation involves for your office.
Well, about a year ago, in July, what happened is the SEC made an announcement, and it's a co-investigation that we're doing with the SEC, that there was a $140 million Ponzi scheme. And so we've been very cautious in what we say out in the public as on ongoing investigation, but it's investigating First Liberty Building and Loan. In effect, what happened is a lot of affinity fraud, which is when you say, well, hi, I'm just like you, I'm a conservative Republican. Hey, I'm just like you, I'm a conservative Christian. And they went out in these circles, and they were really enticing people to invest, in these securities. And eventually, it all blew apart, and people weren't getting any money, and that's when it blew up a year ago. So we've been doing a deep dive. We've been doing, subpoenas. We've been getting depositions. But what we're also getting is a lot of, stiff arms, in the face, that we weren't moving it fast enough forward. So 2 weeks ago, I signed on and got a special investigator. And so Jason Doss now has been equipped and empowered that he has subpoena power, he's got deposition power, and he also has a team of forensic auditors. And so they're following the money trail. And we kind of showed them where we were, and it was a maze of where all the money went and who was involved. And now we've already, have our first finding of fact. We sent to Brent Frost V, first of all, announcing that and telling him that here's the findings of facts, and we're assessing you a $500,000 fine. And we're also referring this to the county DA in the county that you live in, Coweta County, all the findings of fact. And so that has gone to the local prosecuting attorney.
I know a lot of people are wondering whether they'll get their money back. Is it too soon to be able to tell them anything?
It's a $140 million fraud, and it's tough to ever get someone whole. What's really sad is that we had a bill last session, Senate Bill 284, and it died on day 40. And what that would have done is the money, when we get the $500,000 coming back for, say, example, Brent Frost V, because of his fine, it would have gone directly into the pool of money to help on those folks. But now it comes to the General Assembly, back to the state funds, and it doesn't. We don't need the money. It needs to go to these people that were hurt. But it's still active, and tomorrow, the House could pass that bill and get it on the governor's desk. So if that money did roll in the next 30 days, it could actually then go to some of these families. And we're talking about millions of dollars that people put into this.
So you condemned attempts to reverse the outcome of the 2020 presidential election in Georgia, multiple audits, recounts, confirm a fair outcome. Are there any regrets in the way you handled that?
Donna, Georgia right now is recognized having the most secure and safest election in the entire country. But don't take my word for it. Fox News said that on fall of 2024 after the election. This fellow, Jonathan Turley, said that Georgia and Florida run the best elections in the entire country. But we've been ranked #1 by the Heritage Foundation in 2021. We've been #1 ranked by the Bipartisan Policy Center. Georgia runs the most secure and safe elections in the entire country, but they're also the fastest. We give people quick results, and that just builds trust. And that's why UGA also did a poll, and over 92% of all Georgians trust our election process here in Georgia.
Any thoughts on the FBI raid in Fulton County?
Not really. Not a lot of information shared. And so I think a lot of it's just rehashing old stuff from the past.
And I want to ask you a little bit more about elections. You started this year with the looming mandate from the legislature to end the use of QR codes on printed ballots. It was a July deadline. So explain why that won't happen.
Well, right now, we actually have a special election that's going on in the 14th district. Plus, we've just finished up a special election, I think it was on Tuesday. So we have these special elections going on all the time Then we're going to have the general election, the primary that's coming up. We'll have a May primary, then the runoff for that, which takes us to June. And there's just really no time in the cycle. But the other key point is they have this mandate, there's no funding for it. And so how are the counties supposed to do this without any funding? So the General Assembly is going to have to step up. Looked at the governor's budget. He kind of put in the money that we said should be put in there, plus what we've recommended is to push that date out for 1 or 2 years. But at the end of the day, this is on the state Senate. They just never funded it, and now they got a problem. It's their mess. The monkey's on their back. Let them figure it out.
Well, recently a committee has recommended that the state use hand-marked paper ballots and the QR codes during the general elections coming up this November. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's still going to be a cost involved with that just because the scanners and other things that need to be updated. And if that's it, then just make sure it's fully funded. But it needs to happen quickly because otherwise you won't have enough time to get it ready just because of the election cycle.
Should Georgia get a new voting system?
Well, that's something, the contract that we have with Dominion Voting Systems that they've been since purchased, that comes up in 2030. It was a 10-year contract. So really, I think you always would want to look at it because you can update technology. What has happened? Maybe something, really, even more secure than, what we're doing right now, even faster than what we're having right now. If you can have security and speed, that would be the great combination. So we'll see. And that's probably, leave that to the next governor, leave that to the next secretary, leave that to the next General Assembly that meets next year. They can start working on it.
The main thing is for Georgians can feel that the upcoming elections are secure.
Absolutely. Most secure in the country. And I'm really proud of that.
So I was going to ask you that. What are you most proud of in terms of legislation or anything else during your term as Secretary of State?
Every division that we have as Secretary of State, we have improved. In corporations, you can renew your corporation for up to 3 years, 1, 2, or 3 years, and it's really quick and speedy. So that's great. Customer service, and you get a 3-year option. Take what you want, 1, 2, or 3. Then professional licensing, we took that old clunky software, the EMLO system from 2002, updated it on the Salesforce architecture, and now we've taken like the nurses, their first registration as a nurse, it used to be 48 days with the old clunky system. We got it down to 18 days almost immediately. Now it's down to 10 days. And now this team is they're just running with their tongues hanging out, saying, how do we get this thing down to 7 days? How do we get it down to 6 days? And that's customer service. And I'm really proud of their spirit and just really great that we can offer that to people. It also has a dashboard. So if you're asking, you don't need to reach out to our office. You just look where you are on the dashboard. Oh, they're still need my transcript. Oh, they need proof of citizenship. Oh, they need this. And all these different processes. Oh, I just got my license. And if it's just a straight renewal, that's happening in less than a day. And so I'm proud of that. Elections, the most secure in the country. Securities and charities, we have a dynamite team of 10 people, and they've been investigating several Ponzi schemes. And right now, obviously, is the biggest one they've had on their plate. But $140 million fraud. They've thrown all of our resources at it. Most states have 50 people. We only have 10 people. Like, think about Alabama, half our size, has 50 people. We have 10. But they're just, a dynamite team. And then they also do financial empowerment programs, financial education programs. Our ladies on our team actually have gone into women's prisons because they know when people get out of prison, they better know something about money so they don't get into trouble again. And they've taken upon themselves on their own free time going into prisons. And that's just something I really respect. And that came just out of their heart to serve people. And I'm grateful for the team we built here. And it's all about public service. I think that's how government works. When you put your taxpayers, put your people first,